You are now tuned into Coffee, Tea, and Conversations, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. with Mary Evans and her co-host, Marsha Easley. Get ready for Coffee, Tea, and Conversations. Yeah. Put some coffee in your cup. Coffee, tea, and conversations. Yeah. Put some tea in your cup. Are you ready? For motivation. Get ready. For education. Are you ready? For life-changing inspiration. Get ready. For coffee, tea, and conversations with Mary Evans and Marsha Easley. Bringing you topics every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to educate, motivate, and inspire, and even make you laugh. Get ready for Coffee, Tea, and Conversations. Yeah. Put some coffee in your cup. Coffee, tea, and conversations. Yeah. Put some tea in your cup. Are you ready? For motivation. Get ready. For education. Are you ready? For life-changing inspiration. Get ready. For coffee, tea, and conversations with Mary Evans and Marsha Easley. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
He says Marsha Easley. I like that.
I love the way you say your name. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in to Coffee, Tea, and Conversation with Mary. I inspire Evans and my co-host,
Marsha Easley.
Marsha, you like that?
I do.
Shout out to Jay Cruz. Let's give him a shout out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Marsha. How are you feeling?
Ooh, I'm feeling good. I'm
Get myself together, Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm losing a few pounds and my shirt's starting to hang to the left and hang to the left.
All right now, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It never leaves where you exactly want it to, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
That we could pick where we wanted to drop off at.
Yes.
This morning we have a topic, ladies. We're going to talk about how children are so affected when the parent, they used to say when the dad goes to jail, but we could be talking about either parent, the dad or the mom. This morning we have a video we're going to look at. And Marsha, it brought me to tears because I've watched and I have worked with children where both parents were incarcerated or just one. And I was looking at a video yesterday, one of the rappers that used to be in the streets. And Marsha, he said, guys, don't get sent to prison for half of your life just for somebody can talk about how hard you were in the streets. Just to be there, Marsha. And he said a lot of times it's about somebody say, oh yeah, he don't take no stuff. You can't get away with this. He said, honey, he has did his time. And now he can look over so many things that he typically would have fought about or possibly even came back and shot your car out about it. So we just want our people to think about, it's not just about them when they go to the penitentiary. They affect the whole family, Let's watch this clip, Marsha.
Look. 22 years.
Crying this shit. Why you crying for?
Cause I get that dumbass song for. Why you play
What you
it?
mean that dumbass song?
Cause
What you crying for? That's your daddy's song.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's
Stand
my
up.
daddy's
You on the floor.
I can't
Stand
feel
up.
nothing.
Stand up.
I can't feel nothing.
You can't feel
Oh
nothing.
no, who's touching me?
Don't worry about it.
These my mama hands, they cold.
They cold.
Mom,
Stop.
Mom.
What?
Here.
Oh.
There she goes.
Somebody's hands cold, nobody's hands.
Don't worry about it.
That's what it got.
Coming home.
Surprise! Surprise, baby!
I told you. You better make sure.
22 years.
That's his song, gang.
Just don't let her. Just don't let
get
her
her.
hit her head.
Told you we had
Slide over. I told
Okay.
Wow.
Marsha, I'm trying to hold back the tears, and I watched the doggone video 2 times. Do you see Marsha?
I
He's been
see.
gone 22 years.
Wow.
Music come on that she know her dad, she can't listen to without crying.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at what she's experienced right now, how, I'm sure it's joy, happy, and all the things that she's been through. Don't that just break your heart?
It does. It does. Wow.
So I've had, we all had people in our family that have had, someone that was incarcerated. I'm going to talk about my experience with my brother because he did, and I watched how it affected my parents, their relationship, his children. I went through so much, Marsha. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I used to tell him when I would go visit him, drive hours away, winter, holidays. I was so tired of taking those penitentiary pictures posted up, Marsha, and a lot of families go through it, a lot of mothers.
Yeah.
But Marsha, some of the drives were 4 or 5 hours, Marsha, and I would cry at least half of the way home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of individuals that are incarcerated, they just don't realize how much pain they put on an entire family. It's not just about them.
Yes. I agree with you because it does affect everybody because that ride, because I have been there to see loved ones, that ride, and you think, all that's been done for them or where they the choices they made that were wrong, and that they put themselves in that situation, you have to leave them there. And you kind of know you don't know, you can imagine what they have to go through. It's very sad. It's not any way you can be happy about it. No way.
And that part for me, Marsha, I think that would make me so upset and so sad is what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
When I would you talk.
Okay. Well, Mary, I have a lot of personal experience with that, but just talking in general, you have to think about it as far as kids are concerned, because especially if you have a parent, and this is one of my experience, who have been incarcerated, they get out and they go back, they get out, they go back over and over, and it's a vicious cycle. And kids see, they get numb to it after a while, like, oh, well, he's in jail again. And that's really sad when a child gets really numb to the fact that their parent goes back and forth to jail. It's one thing when they're there for a long time. That's already, missing out all the good years of your life. But to know a parent that just keeps going back and back and back till the child just gets numb to it and think, okay, that's what they do. That's what you do. That's very sad to me.
Yeah. And in my experience, I've saw, and it's not always the case, but it seemed like the fathers handle it much better than the mothers. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was like, he always told us, like, if you go to prison, I'm not coming to see you. I'm not spending a dime to get you out. No attorneys, no lawyers. And Marsha, he meant that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, I work too hard to try to give you what you need. You don't have to go out and do all the illegal things to get it because I'm going to provide for you. So if you make that choice, then you're on your own. So I've seen a lot of mothers really dealing with this period of their child life alone because a lot of dads say it and mean it. What is your opinion about that?
Well, personal experience again. I've always said that. I always told my son, you know, if you go, you go. I'm not coming. I'm not doing nothing. And you know, not to throw my son on the bus, but he went in for stupid stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I said, you know, that's dumb. You made stupid choices. And then being a mom, I still kind of was there. But if I came to the conclusion, if you kept on doing that stuff, I just can't keep doing that, because going to jail and going to prison and going in rooms, and I feel like, when I went to one of those rooms, I felt like I was a prisoner one time, because you got to take away your purse, you got to do this, they got to search you, you got to do all this stuff, you got to fill all this paperwork, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm a prisoner, because we are in prison with them for the most part. You got to think about that. You pretty much are. So I feel some kind of way about that. I don't ever want to do that again in life, ever.
Actually, you're right. You are. You really, depending on who it is and what is your relationship with that person, you really serving time with them. Really serving time with them. And particularly when you watch, your parent that's going through the same thing, and how Mother's Day, holidays, it was just a hard thing, no matter what day it was, but in particular holidays. And so we would try to go visit on holidays. So now your holiday is please come see me. Now you have your holidays, so you are doing time with them. You find yourself on Christmas or Thanksgiving because you want them to have a great holiday. So now your holiday is being searched, is sitting across from them at a table, at a penitentiary, and guys, give us your comments. How do you feel when a parent says, listen, I told you that if you do stupid things to go to prison, I was not going to support you. How do you feel about a parent? Because a lot of them have just said that. See you when you get out. It's out there.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, and this on the side to make us smile a little bit. Girl, one of the worst things was those doggone telephone bills. Girl, when I tell you,
oh my God,
the collect calls Marsha.
That's a racket right there, man. Oh man, that's a lot.
That's a lot of family members' phones were cut off because of the collect calls from the jails.
And can you imagine those that were like in there like for 20-some years? I mean, that's hundreds and probably thousands of dollars spent just in communication.
Marsha,
oh my goodness.
Girlfriends, sisters, parents, we all went through it. Literally, I know people that had phones and their kid's name, cousin name, mama name, because the phone bill would be so high. That was a money-making thing. Now it's totally different. I love that the way they have changed it up. But honey, they made a lot of money.
What do they do now? What are they doing now?
They could call now where the first they started where you put the money in their account, and if the money wasn't there, they couldn't call out. So it's none of that, and now, girl, you ain't gonna believe this. I have a couple of friends, they talk to their son right on the tablets. They could use the tablets. They're able to be on Facebook now. You have some guys in the penitentiary right now have Facebook pages. They doing things that they learned in the prison. They're able to, yes, there's a guy that's teaching about real estate, and he's locked up right now.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yes.
I know they started doing emails, but I didn't know they was doing the Facebook and all that other stuff.
They have stepped the game up. It's totally different because before they stopped, they wasn't allowing, before they went to other options, they had stopped where you couldn't even collect calls from some of the penitentiaries. They couldn't even do it. So they only can use what was in their account. I think what happened is that it wasn't about that they were trying to make it so good for families. I think AT&T or the different phone companies lost so much money because they would run the phones up and then have the phone cut off. Girl, do you know you moved in some houses? You had to prove that you lived there because the bills being ran up. And they wouldn't even allow for a phone line to even be in the house. So,
Yeah.
I just want us to, like I say, guys, think about when we out here and we doing things that can land us in a penitentiary. That is not just us.
Yeah.
We affect a whole family. And it goes right to the next generation and next generation, because all the pain and hurt and grief and loss that you endure, then it just keeps going. And we always about a show that can make us think and be better, live better, and just to think about choices that we make, how it can affect our whole community.
Yes.
Marsha, what would you like to say to our audience as we go out today?
Well, Mary, like I said, it is a vicious cycle. We need to work on stopping that cycle, making better decisions. Think about the kids. We need to put the kids first, I know everybody's doing a lot of things to try to survive nowadays, but, just try to make better choices. Put the kids first, and the family. It's not fair.
I do have a quick question I want to ask you before we go out.
Okay.
Marsha, I have spoke with some mothers that will not take their children to visit. Some fathers that will not take their children to visit. How do you feel about taking the child to visit that parent that's incarcerated? How do you feel about that?
Ooh, well, seeing that I have done that, but not to, I've done that. It's good for the parent to see the child. And maybe it's good for the kids because let them know that, hey, maybe it'll inspire them not to want to be in that position one day. Because when I was up there, I was like, look, on the way there, you don't want to do this. Let me tell you how they live. They do this. You can't do this. You can't get on the phone. You can't get in it. You can't. I made it look as ugly as possible.
Okay.
To make sure you say, okay, this is what you don't want to do. This is where you don't want to be. So you can make it a positive to enforce into the children. But, I've done it and, it's good for them person there, but it's good for kids to see their parent.
You know what, Marsha? I like the way you flipped it. You turned it to more of an educational visit.
Mm-hmm.
To say
Scared
this
Straight. Remember Scared Straight? It's
yes.
almost like a Scared Straight, but they don't have to go behind the bars for real. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. So it has its advantages, disadvantages. Because one thing about it, you were able to say, this is what happens when you break the rules or break the laws. You see how when they come in, we have to be checked. We have to take everything out of our pocket. And when you go down that rabbit hole with them, and it's a good learning experience.
Yes, that's how I did it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say this. I had experience with a couple of mothers where the children were in, 1, 2, 3 years old, and they just thought they were going to just visit dad, take pictures, because you can buy the little snacks for the kids. And then they got a certain age where they like, wait a minute, they was excited to go. But as they get older and get a certain age, children are smarter. And the mom said, then they start saying, wait a minute, now what? Every time we go visit daddy, he not coming out with us like what's going on. And kids are so smart.
Yes.
And then at that point, the visit is not as exciting because at one point, depending on how long he's there and how old the child is, you really have to break it down. But I've seen a lot of parents that say they got away with it because it's exciting going to see dad and eating the snacks. But that only lasts for so long.
Right.
And we have to open up and tell them the truth. So it's like a little road trip, a little that they're going to see dad. So guys, we just out here just to say everything we do is all about love, making you think about what we can do to live a better life. Thanks. And don't forget about the children for tuning in to Coffee, Tea, and Conversation with Mary Evans.
And Marsha Easley.
See you next week. Yes.
I know they gon' remember me, 'cause I'm gon' leave a legacy.